firstly, thank you very much, Mr. Vinod Agarwal, Managing Director and CEO of Volvo Eicher Commercial Vehicles. Thank you so much for joining us on this video interaction. Um, Firstly, would be the obvious question. We are going through a never before seen crisis, not just in India, but globally, that's affected lives personally and also hit economies globally. So, what is Volvo Eicher Commercial Vehicles stance on the current situation in the industry, and how do you view it? If you can maybe start off with your views, Mr. Agarwal.
Definitely, I think this is unprecedented crisis for the not only for this industry but for everyone in the world. So this is a pandemic, and everyone is impacted, and we are in lockdown for last 6 weeks. And then, of course, our plants are still not running, even though we have got the permission to start. But still, since the entire ecosystem is not ready, a lot of our suppliers are in red zones or in containment zones, or dealers are in cities and they are still not open. Some dealers are open, maybe around 30-35%.
Okay.
So it's a basically standstill situation as far as the businesses are concerned. So it's a tough situation, and of course we are trying to cope up with this situation and trying to find out that what we have to do under these scenarios, under the current situation.
Right. Okay. So you also touched upon your plant, being ready to function. So has it already started operation? Because this week probably we're seeing a lot of the zones, a lot of places across the country actually open up slowly but surely from the lockdown. So what is the status at Pithampur and at your facility typically?
No, we have got the permissions from
Okay.
the local administrations in all the areas.
Mhm.
So we are starting, of course, with the essential services.
Mhm.
Uh, First of all, the plants were closed for almost 40-45 days. Therefore, we have to do the maintenance, and then there are some very important activities which have not happened last 6 weeks. For example, the dispatch of parts,
Exactly.
like our workshops are operating on highways, and some of the workshops of our dealers, they
Mhm.
are, because some trucks are still plying on the roads.
Correct.
uh, they need parts, and our service vans are plying. So the most important was to supply the parts.
Right.
So last 1 week we have started supplying the parts to all these workshops.
Mhm.
The second priority was that we have to service some export customers,
Mhm. Oh, okay.
not dependent on us single
Right.
source. Like for example, we are supplying engines to some of the Volvo Group companies
Correct. Right.
in Europe as well as in Asia.
Mhm.
So some of those plants, suppose the Volvo plant is operating in uh, Thailand, so we have to supply engines to that plant. So we have started
Right.
making in
Right.
some parts. We have some customers in US
Mhm.
where we have to supply gears.
Right. Right.
So that we have started making those gears. So
Right.
that was the second priority.
Right.
The third priority is that wherever we already have vehicles lying with us, which we had sold in the month of March.
Mhm.
So we were not able to dispatch because of sudden lockdown. So those vehicles now we have started to dispatch. We are trying that those vehicles should reach the customers and dealers very fast. And there are still challenges to cross the state borders, and there is also big challenge for drivers to carry these vehicles. Uh, First of all, drivers get stuck at the borders or at the local administration level. And the second thing is, after they drop the vehicle, they have no means to come back to their base location. So we are facing challenges in dispatch of vehicles which are already sold, which are still lying with us.
Right.
And then fourth is, of course, we also have to do the stock taking,
Right.
and that's going on currently. It normally is done at the year end for
Mhm.
the audit of accounts. So
Right.
that is going on now.
Right.
And so these are the things. And then, of course, we are then we will start producing in a small way, because uh, the permission is to start with 30-35%
percent of workforce. Yeah,
the plant have full, and then you have to take all the precautions, so the productivity levels will be much
very,
lower.
very low. Yeah,
And so you have to create social distancing,
correct,
to
correct.
do all the thermal checks. You have to
Absolutely,
do.
absolutely.
You have to do the all the sanitizations.
Correct,
To
correct.
ensure that everyone wears the protective masks,
Mask and all
other
that.
protective equipment. We have to ensure that when we fetch these staff from their residencies
Mhm.
in the buses, we create the right distancing, and like the buses also have to operate at maybe 40-50% capacity, like
Correct,
then
correct.
the double number of buses to transfer the same number of people, and we have to do the sanitization of all the buses.
Correct.
So all those things you have to do, take all the precautions, and ensure that the people don't fall sick, because it's very, very important that everyone remains healthy. And
Absolutely.
so we are coping up with all the challenges.
Yeah.
And then of course, once we start operating in a small way, I think that will also put a lot of you can say the positive pressure on everyone else in the ecosystem,
Correct. Correct.
wherever the suppliers are located. When they know that all the OEMs are starting,
OEMs are correct. Correct.
we are operating, some other OEMs are also started operating. So
Right.
then the suppliers also are trying their best that they should
Definitely.
start operating.
Right. Right.
They are also trying to start their plants with all the precautions, take the
Right.
permissions from district administrations or local administrations. So we are hopeful that they will also start operating like us
Right.
in a limited manner, in a very, very controlled environment.
Mm.
And then, of course, we are also discussing very closely with all the dealers
Dealers
that
as well.
they
Right.
can start operating in a very,
Mm.
very
Mm.
controlled manner.
That's all
So it's
right. Yeah.
we are trying to prepare the entire ecosystem
Exactly.
to
Exactly.
come back on track, and
Right. Right.
we are hopeful that the things should start coming back on track maybe in next 4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks. Right. Crucial period as well for all of us, I suppose. Right. So, I mean, there are so many layers of the ecosystem you actually touched upon. That also shows the kind of responsibility that comes with being an OEM, doesn't it? Kind of indicates that
Of course,
you'll
we
really have
have
to take care of so many things, not just your own plant.
all our stakeholders. We have
Exactly. Exactly.
because with the OEM, like we have more than 500 suppliers
Exactly.
associated.
Exactly.
We
Right.
have more
Right.
than maybe 250, 300 dealer principals who are
Mm.
associated with us.
Right.
And
Right. Right.
we have all our employees who are associated with us. So we
Absolutely.
have
A lot of responsibilities. We will. I have some of them as part of my questions. We'll probably just run through them one by one as we are doing so. Another interesting point you indicated, Mr. Agarwal, is just an observation, not a question as such. Despite the entire nationwide lockdown, along with the medical professionals, the paramedics, the police personnel who are actually on duty despite the lockdown, truckers are also probably among that category, right? They didn't have the liberty of a lockdown because they had to ship essential goods across the country. So that also indicates the kind of important role played by the trucking community
Mhm.
as well. Yeah.
So they are
So
the warriors.
absolutely
They are the warriors.
true, 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 very true. Right. So your view on this year, and also peculiarly this entire COVID thing has come in right at the change of our Indian financial year, March, April. So, but we're anyway into the new financial year. And what is your take on this financial year? I'm not looking at any numbers because I know numbers are very difficult to project and predict. But what is your outlook for this financial year as far as our Indian commercial vehicle industry is concerned?
Hmm. To put the things in perspective, like if you look at the CV industry last year, the CV industry was already in sort of recession last year, and before March itself, the industry was dropping because of various reasons. I will not get into all those reasons because all that we have discussed a number of times.
Right.
So it was already dropping till February, and March, of course, came as a very, very bad month when we had a drop of almost 90% in the CV industry in the month of March because there was lockdown in last 10 days, and of course, a lot of sales happened in last 10 days. So the CV industry was already not doing so well, and on top of it, this entire pandemic happened. So this was a double whammy for the CV industry. And going forward, the fortunes of CV industry are always linked with the economy. So we have to look at how the economy is likely to behave. Now there are some positives, and of course we have to remain positive, and we have to always try to find out that where the positivity is, because if we are optimistic, then the things will also start behaving in a positive manner. Uh, so if you look at what are the positives for the economy, uh, I think the biggest positive is that we have good news from the rural economy side. We have good harvest, and that will bring in good
Definitely.
activity with the rural people, and rural economy will be better. So, and then we are expecting good monsoon. The forecast for monsoon is also good. So therefore, I think that is one positive. And the second positive is that we are expecting infrastructure investments uh, will happen, and government is very serious on it, and they are going to spend a lot of money on infrastructure. Once that start happening, I'm sure that will create a lot of demand for steel, cement, and as well as for the trucks, for construction purposes. So that will be very positive for the CV industry. And then of course liquidity is the third very important area which plays a very important role in the entire CV industry, because all vehicles are financed. So there again, the Reserve Bank of India has taken a lot of steps, and every day we see some positive news. Like for example, today State Bank of India also has given some positive news for the NBFCs, that they are going to provide some moratorium to NBFCs also. So I think with that availability of liquidity, and with the positivity there, so if the liquidity is available, I think that will also create good situation for the CV industry, because all the vehicles have to be financed.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
and then, of course, there are various views on the how the economy is going to behave. Some people are saying that it will have a growth of 1 to 2%,
Understand.
start growing in the second half. Some people are saying that it will be negative growth.
Yeah.
So basically, you have to be prepared
Right.
that if economy goes up, industry goes up, then
You need to be ready to ramp up. Yeah.
the economy doesn't grow, industry drops further, then what is our response?
Mm.
So basically, the important thing for the companies is that all of us have to do the scenarios planning.
Right.
We have to
Right.
prepare, we have to prepare ourselves for both the scenarios. If it is good, then what is our response? If it is not good, then what is our response?
Brilliant.
And
Brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah.
that's what we are right now working on various scenarios.
Mm. Right. Right. And as you rightly pointed out, there are certain bright spots as well, because
Yes.
we've gone
And
through
then
such a bad
we talk of those bright
bright
spots.
spots.
And then, of course, the other important thing is that we are working very closely with the Government of India, the entire
Definitely.
association,
Right.
SIAM,
Mm.
ATMA, CI, everyone is working very closely with the Government of India, that how do we work to create demand?
Right. Correct. Correct.
Demand has to be created, then what needs to be done? I
Correct.
think some of the suggestions have been given to government, which I'm sure might be under consideration of the Government of India. Like
Yeah.
for example, industry had been requesting for long incentive-based scrappage policy,
Correct.
which will boost a lot of demand, replacement of vehicle. Similarly, if they do some rationalization of GST rates for some time, I'm not saying that it should be continued forever,
Continue. Right.
maybe for 6 months time,
Mm.
or if they are able to create some good liquidity in the hands of state transport undertakings, so
Mhm.
that they can replace their aging fleet. So all these things are very positive for the CV industry. Then another positive which you can talk of is that you have seen the last year CV industry were down by 5 ton and above industry were down by 40%.
Correct.
And when the industry was already down, and pre-buying also didn't happen, because quarter four was very bad at that. So pre-buying has not happened, and replacements have not happened. So my own feeling that there will be some pent up
Demand.
demand,
Right. Right.
the replacements due,
Mm.
and those will happen if people think positively about the businesses.
Right.
So
Right.
it's very important that all the transporter community, all the customers, they have positive view about the economy. So it is very important for all of us to create positivity, and if you create positivity, then positivity leads to more positivity.
True.
And if the end of the day, the entire consumption, uh, it happens based on the positive sentiments.
True. True.
So
Very true.
if consumption start happening, if there are positive sentiments,
True.
I think the industry is going to go up. So it's very important. There are positive sentiments, and those positive sentiments will come definitely based on whatever we are talking of, and then whatever objective steps or constructive steps that are taken by the government of India. Like for example, if positive steps are taken, it creates a lot of confidence in the minds of
True.
people.
True.
So if you create that confidence, if you create that positivity, I'm sure the things will start improving, and then there is pent up demand for replacements, and I'm sure the industry will be back on track.
Yeah. Really, really second and also like your opinion and outlook, is positive. And as we touched upon in the previously, while on one side the OEM has a lot of responsibility, I think as an OEM you also have a lot of power to exude and spread this positivity among your stakeholders. Like for instance, once you start manufacturing, your suppliers are going to think, okay, I think my customer is ready,
That's
and
what I'm saying. Once we start manufacturing, once we
absolutely,
start saying that we
absolutely,
want to manufacture, then everyone wants to do
everybody
business.
is going to be happy. Definitely,
Because if they are closed, they are suffering.
true,
So they
true,
also
true,
want to start business, and then
absolutely.
once they have this demand from all the OEMs, and
Mm.
they also do their best,
Right,
and
right,
take
right.
all the precautions, and they assure the local governments or local
Absolutely, absolutely.
administration that they will take all the positive steps,
True,
and
true,
they
true.
should be allowed to start production in a limited manner.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I think the things will start falling in place.
Definitely. I think this wave of positivity is what is really needed right now more than anything. Yeah, right. Obvious question. BS6. I think April 1st we've transitioned from BS4 to 6, and Aisha particularly has also come up with your new range with UTech 6. What kind of impact do you see COVID having on the BS6 transition? Because as a market, we are all ready for BS6. It was planned much earlier. But what impact do you specifically see the COVID pandemic have on our BS6 transition?
No, BS6, I think first of all, we had relative advantages
Right.
in BS6 because we had already been manufacturing Euro 6 engines for last more than
Volvo.
6 years. We had been supplying to Volvo Group, and more than 100,000 of trucks with the Euro 6 engines are running successfully all over the world. And we also have a lot of experience from the learnings that what sort of experience customers get, what sort of problems customers face in Euro 6 technology.
Mhm.
So all those learnings we have incorporated in our design. So therefore, our BS6 technology, it is very modern, it is very robust, and so the product-wise, we are very
All right.
confident. Yeah, but we have, created this new technology here. It is absolutely state of the art, and it will give very good performance to the customers. So on the product side, of course, absolutely very confident, and of course, we were absolutely before time. You would have seen Pro 2000 series, our first BS6 truck. We
Right.
had done as way back in May or June 2019, and then of course we had also come out with all other range much before anyone else could come out with. So we have 7 categories of BS6 engines, 5 in diesel and 2 in CNG category, right from 100 horsepower to 350 horsepower.
Mm.
So wide variety of engine, and based on that, our product range is also very wide, right from 4.9 ton going up to 55 ton.
Mhm.
So very wide range of products, and both in diesel as well as in CNG fuel
Mm.
engines. So so the product is ready, and then we have done extremely good work in making our infrastructure, making our after sales setup ready. Now there, of course, this technology is very complex. You have to do the right training to the technicians. You have to create the right awareness. You have to prepare your dealer workshops so that when the trucks come there, they are able to repair them, in no time, in the minimum time, first time right. So all those actions were started maybe 1 to 2 years back, and they are all ready. All technicians are all trained. Infrastructure is ready. And then third thing in after sales which we did was, uh, first in the industry we have set up an uptime center
Mhm.
uh, at Pithampur, which is a control center, and which operates 24/7. And through that uptime center, any vehicle either in workshops or on the road, that vehicle can be taken control of in that uptime center, through the telematics system or through the electronic architecture which is there in the vehicles. And all our experts who are available in uptime center, they can provide real-time guidance
Right.
to the technicians in case they are stuck in any in identifying any default codes or stuck somewhere in case. And this can be done right from the workshops or from the on the road service as well. And then in the second phase, what we are going to do this year now is we are going to start a lot of predictive maintenance services also.
Right.
Since all these vehicles will be connected, and with this connectivity, this uptime center will be able to know it if there is any problem likely to happen in any truck. Then they can advise on proactive basis to the driver.
Right.
That so and so problem can happen, then he should visit the nearest service center and we can fix the appointment for him, or we can guide him that what he should do. So this is absolutely state of the art and first of its kind in India, and this will add a lot of competitive edge in our after sales infrastructure. So I was saying that the product is we are very confident. Then we have created the right after sales setup, and then we have created the right competencies of our people as well as the dealership people. So basically what we are offering is we are not only offering BS6, we are offering BS6 plus. So that's why we are calling it ZooTech 6. So it is more than BS6. And we are absolutely confident.
Right. And do you see the COVID having any kind of impact on this transition, sir? I mean,
transition has already happened. So whatever will happen now, it will be BS6 only.
Right.
So there is no BS4 stock anywhere.
Right. Okay. Right. So that's not going to really hamper the transition. Understandable. Yeah. You did touch upon certain measures from the government side to help the industry come out of this crisis. Anything else you have in mind that the government could actually do to help the entire automotive and commercial ecosystem to actually come out of this crisis?
No, I think we have to work very closely and we have to create a lot of positivity.
Right.
To make very, very, very good positive statements, confidence to the consumers that the things are good.
Right. Okay. A couple of questions on the sales and after sales side, sir. You did touch upon these sides as well, but given the kind of impact, we were talking about social distancing, we're talking about sanitization at a very different level than what it used to be. Do you see sales and after sales in the commercial vehicle space taking a totally different kind of a trajectory post-COVID, given the kind of restrictions and the kind of tensions that might be in the market?
No, different in the sense that like the industry is down. It will take time to pick up. It won't happen. We won't start selling like we had been selling in last year. So it will be a slow and steady start. To start with, I think the slowly dealerships, everyone will start inching up, with respect to their capacities, and we will start improving on the capacity. And side by side, I think the economy will also start moving, and once the economy starts moving, and then we will see demand going up steadily. So it will be slow and steady pace. So to that extent, there will be. We have to be prepared that the things will come slowly, and we have to be patient with that.
Right. For instance, there's a lot of concern when we speak to some people from the industry. What will happen to sales people who are on the ground level? Because now there's a lot of concern about their health and safety. Do you see sales happening the same way it used to happen before? Or are we looking at something like more of virtual dealerships and those kind of technology options? Are you considering all?
More and more because like we are having this interview platform. Anyway, I think a lot of work can be done on the digital platform or on this Microsoft meeting or on the Skype or on all these electronic platform. Like earlier, when we used to tell our people that why don't you have this meeting on video or on, people were resisting. They are
True.
They were more used to only meeting face to
Face to
face.
face. True.
They
True.
think, no, we have to go there, travel there, and all. But now I think that will change. We have seen in last 45 days that these meetings are highly productive.
Absolutely.
These
Absolutely.
are, even though we are having this, but the productivity is even much better than when we were having face to face.
Very true. Very true.
It is just like meeting across the table.
True.
So to that extent, I think this is a very good learning. It will improve productivity, it will cut down costs, and people will start practicing it. The more they practice it, the more safer they will be. So if suppose they are able to do their work sitting at their homes or sitting in their offices rather than going out, to that extent they will be more safer, at least for some time to come, till the time the virus doesn't go 100% away.
True.
And and definitely all of us have to learn to live with this virus.
True. Yeah.
We have to learn that how do we take care of ourselves,
Caution.
we take care of our people, how do we take care of people around us,
True.
and so we have to take all the precaution. Everyone has to fulfill his responsibility.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Accept it and then face it and handle it.
Because if you are not careful, not only you are at yourself at risk,
Exactly.
you are also spreading that to other people whom you are meeting.
Very true. Very
To
true.
that extent, I think we have to train our people that they have to be very careful.
Correct. Correct.
And I
Yeah.
don't train people, and we are giving trainings, we are bringing in awareness, we are having various types of guidelines being issued. So very comprehensive guidelines are being issued.
Brilliant.
So
Brilliant. Yeah.
from our side, of course, we will not leave any stone unturned.
Right. Right.
Make
Brilliant.
sure people take care of themselves and also of people around them.
Wonderful. What about fleet operators? How do you think their business gets impacted because of the entire pandemic issue? And what do you think they should probably be doing differently and thinking differently at this point of time?
So fleet operators, basically, they are again they are dependent on the movement of goods and services. So and goods and services movement is dependent on the economy. So I think as I talked about positives, like for example, harvest. So if the harvest is good, then of course you have to move that harvest. Similarly, I think mining activity has not been impacted much. So you will see lot of work is already happening in coal mines and in iron ore mines. So all those activities are there. And then third is the infrastructure related, like for example, road construction is there or other infrastructure projects are there, where you are going to continue the construction. So if you continue the construction, it means you have to move the cement, steel, and all of the related building material. So all that thing will also create a lot of opportunity for all these fleet operators and all the truckers to move the goods. And then of course there are other essential items which in any case will continue to remain there. But of course there will be some impact on the discretionary spends till the time the income levels are don't come back or to the earlier levels. So to that extent, there will be some impact on the economy. And for those discretionary items, of course, if that gets impacted, then that will have the some negative impact on the economy. And then, of course, to that extent, the truckers also will be impacted. But the other positive thing for the truckers is that lot of companies are also bringing in a lot of focus on productivity. And these BS6 trucks are highly productive. They are much more efficient. They are properly designed for increased axle loads. Uh, they are modern trucks. So therefore, it is good for the truckers also that if they are able to replace, they will be able to reduce their costs. So they will be able to improve their productivity. They will be able to uh, deliver the same goods in the lesser time, and the fatigue for the driver also will be less. So all those positive things, I think our teams are building up awareness. They are in touch with the customers, explaining to them what are the advantages of these BS6 trucks, and then to that extent, I see that they will also see reason to replace the trucks wherever they can afford it. They will they will definitely go in for new replacements, and for that, of course, the liquidity availability, retail financing, those are very good. You can say the drivers for this to happen. So I think we have to continue to make our efforts. Uh, so that collectively, everyone takes the right steps.
True. Uh, from a technology perspective, do you see any particular technology gaining momentum as a result of this COVID impact, sir?
The technology already now BS6 technology is already there, and we already have done a lot of other technological introductions in the products like AMS.
AMD.
There, a lot
Right.
of features are there now. So I think most of the lot of things have come in. And,
We'll go on. Got it.
I'm sure.
Okay.
I don't see any urgent need to change any further technology, and to that extent, we are also requesting the government that let's take a pause there. Let's not push more technology into the, because as it is, the trucks are becoming more costly with BS6. So I think we should now pause here and maybe give it a time so that the customers should absorb this technology, and then we should not push more technology into the trucks at this point of time. So that will be good for the industry.
Right. I have a couple of last questions to ask you, sir. Your outlook on the medium to long term. Do you see this COVID change the medium to long term outlook of our commercial vehicle industry in any way?
I think medium to long term outlook, I don't think that will change, because in any case, we have seen in the past as well, whenever any such situation happens, India can come back very fast because we have very good managers in the country. Our people are very adaptable. They can manage all such situations very, very efficiently. Once this, suppose there is a vaccine or there is a proper treatment found, then I think everyone will become very confident. And once people become very confident, and once the proper vaccine is there, I think the things will come back to normal very fast. Because end of the day, economy has its own inherent strengths. We all love consumption, so people will come back to the consumption, and of course, when we starts moving positively, the things will start improving. And so, medium to long term outlook, I'm not too much worried. The important is that we have to sustain. Everyone has to sustain in this difficult period. The companies who are able to sustain this difficult period, I think they will benefit the most.
And to gain, absolutely. And since you stressed on India being very adaptive, I'm very interested in asking what impact do you think a market like China will have? Because now there's already been a lot of talk of companies moving out of China, and probably the next most attractive destination for them to invest would be India. Do you see India benefiting from an economy and
that is what everyone to see that competitive India will be better placed competitive with respect to any other country. Suppose anyone has to choose that where he should invest, I think if he does an objective assessment, I'm sure based on various parameters, India will figure on the top.
Right.
Any investor to take the right call. They have to decide based on their own parameters. I will not talk positive or negative about any other country. This is for any investor to take that decision based on the right situation, based on the right parameters. And if you assess us, I would say every investor should assess India with respect to any other country.
Brilliant.
Based on that, they should take the whatever is the right call for the investor. The investor has to take the right calls to become successful. So
I think it cannot get. I think it cannot get any more emphatic. It's even more confident than actually saying they should invest in India. So that kind of clearly indicates the message from your side.
And I'm sure once you look at it objectively, India will come on the top.
Definitely. Yeah, without a doubt.
Reduce the income tax rate for the startups, for the any investment which comes. It is only 15%. So it's highly competitive.
True. Right. I had one last message which you actually already touched upon, but I'd want to hear from you as a concluding remark. What message would Volvo Eicher Commercial Vehicle and yourself want to give to your channel partners, your suppliers, your dealers, and your customers in these very, very difficult times?
We are all together, and they are our very, very important business partners, and we have to take care of ourselves collectively, and of course, we will do our job as OEM.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I mean, taking time out despite the lockdown and other complex things that will be happening. So we wish you the very best, sir, to get back on track, and we really hope the industry will be back to normalcy very soon, along with all the partners, the channel partners, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.